Welcome to NETRUSH Report, your front row seat to the rawest, realest, and most compelling stories in the world of tennis. We go beyond the scores and stats to bring you the drama, the emotion, and the truth behind the game's brightest stars. If you live for passion, controversy, and those untold stories that shake the sport, hit that subscribe button. Because we're just getting started. Now let's get into Taylor Fritz and the moment his breakthrough turned into burnout. Taylor Fritz didn't sugarcoat it. After advancing to the second round of the Citi Open in Washington, D.C., he faced the media. He'd just become the number 5 ranked player in the world, the highest of his career. But there wasn't much joy in his voice. "I really could have used a rest week," he admitted, referring to the ATP rule that mandates top players' participation in a minimum number of ATP 500 events, including Washington. That rule left him with no option but to compete, despite a brutal stretch that included Wimbledon, a title run in Eastbourne, and another deep showing in Atlanta. The man was exhausted. And yet, the rulebook didn't care. But before we get into the controversy, let's rewind. Because to understand the weight of this moment for Fritz, you have to understand how far he's come and how much it took to get here. Taylor Fritz's rise wasn't overnight. Born into a tennis family, his mother, Kathy May, was a top 10 player in her own right. Expectations were always part of the package. But even with talent in his blood, Fritz had to carve his own path in a brutal, global sport dominated by legends. He turned pro in 2015, and by 2016, he'd already cracked the top 100. But his ascent was never linear. There were injuries, doubts, questions about whether he had what it took to break through the ATP's elite circle, dominated at the time by the Big Three and a generation of rising Europeans. Fast forward to 2022, Fritz stuns Rafael Nadal at Indian Wells in a final play through an ankle injury. That win marked a mental and symbolic shift. He wasn't just America's top hope anymore, he was a genuine threat. By mid-2023, he was stacking wins, climbing the rankings. And in July 2025, he finally broke into the top 5, a feat no American male had achieved since Andy Roddick in the early 2000s. It should have been a time for celebration. Instead, he was forced to grind through another week, physically drained, mentally taxed, and risking burnout. The rule that's hurting the best. So why was Fritz forced to play in DC? It's all about the ATP's commitment rules. To maintain ranking legitimacy and encourage tournament prestige, top-ranked players are required to play a minimum number of ATP 500 events. Skipping one even due to fatigue can result in penalties, including loss of points or hefty fines. The intention of the rule makes sense on paper. Fans want to see top players. Sponsors pay to see stars. Tournaments want full stadiums. But when that system starts punishing